Hi everyone, I'm Dalton Ronan, a student at the University of Alberta, and I'm working on Review Board as part of the CANOSP program for winter 2022. And my project is to create an experimental GraphQL endpoint for the Review Board API. In the previous video, I showcased the basic GraphQL endpoint with the user resolver. And since then, I've updated how the GraphQL schema is being generated through the existing Web API resources so that it's a bit more efficient. I've also extended the schema to include input types for the users and review request queries so that we can paginate and filter the results. And I've also added some more error handling to the endpoint, so if there's a syntax or a validation error in the GraphQL request, we'll return that to the user in the response. So we'll take a look at these changes by sending some requests through Postman. So first I'll make a query for users, and we'll note that in the query params we set show inactive to 0, which filters the results by returning only the active users. If we change show inactive to 1 and execute the query again, we'll see that we're now returned 4 users, one of which is an inactive user. We can also filter the results by letter by specifying the letter property in the input parameters. So if I execute this query now, we'll be returned only the users that match the letter parameter we specified. And we can change the ordering of the results as well with the order parameter. So this will now sort it in alphabetical descending order. Now we'll look at some of the error responses. So we can see here that I can query a public review request just as normal. But if I try to query a private review request as a user that's not logged in, I'll be returned this error message notifying me that I'm not logged in. So if I add authorization for a user that has the correct permissions to view the review request and execute the query again, you can see that we can now query for this review request's details. And if we send a malformed GraphQL request, the endpoint will return those GraphQL errors. So if I change this query to also query some undefined property for the review request object, you'll see that we get this GraphQL validation error, and it specifies that we cannot query for this field on this object. We also now have a test suite for the GraphQL endpoint, which tests for the error responses and some of the resolvers that we have set up right now, which we can run just as we run the rest of the tests. Thanks for watching.